All right. So let's get onto the track. Max, do you want to bring up the track picture so you can talk about things? They did change it. First big change in a very long time to this track.
Well,
Yeah, let
that is a
me
rule.
actually bring it up.
That's
There
what they
is a
have.
rule, but this track has been the same, pretty much the same since it was in 2022.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is no rule for the other races, but for
Yeah,
EFRA
I know
races
that.
there is a rule, and Worlds also.
Didn't
They
they
will
have a?
make a new track to the Worlds also.
Yeah, I know that. But this track is kind of hard to change because of the glue, right? It's very thickly. Well, when I was talking to the
They will tear
figurators,
apart it. So
when I talk to the figurators, it's difficult to move because it's so hard. Like the
yeah,
surface is very hard. All right, so heard that I really like what they did. Maybe walk our way through it, Pekko, because you actually drove many laps on this. So a
yeah,
lot of things are still the same. Like this section that Max is on right now is still the same. It's just going. It's just the way it's done.
yeah.
It's a little different.
I mean the layout. The layout basically was, I would say, easier than the layout what it was there before, but the jumps made it harder because the jumps were like these jumps in the middle. They were a bit weirdly timed because they were testing the jumps with the e-buggy. So basically, the triple single what we did was a like should have been quad, and also they fixed the jump in the front, but that was also kind of hard. But I would say otherwise the layout was a bit easier than it was last time.
Why was it easier? I saw so real quick. I saw that they see how if you look at this front, go back here, right, Max, on this front jump where your arrow is. Uh, they actually put a extended lip on this
Yeah,
after day one.
Yeah, that is.
And then I saw there was a video. You was actually quadding this second bunch of jumps right here.
Yeah, I was. But
so why did they change this lip? Because I mean, hold on, go forward a little bit, Max. Is there another jump after, or is it right onto the?
No,
big
it was
sweeper?
center. The center.
That's right. So this one here,
that one.
I do
Yeah, that one.
apologize. So you can jump and
But-
make this.
Yeah, you can jump it over because like you can barely made it like over if you land perfectly. Then it was easier when they changed the lip.
Also, this step up out in the very back, I thought it was going to be. Was that challenging to you at all? It looked fairly easy from video.
Yeah, it was this. What do you mean, the step up?
Yeah, this corner right here. Yeah.
That corner. That was quite easy, I would say. Sometimes the wind could catch your car and you will have a weird landing, but otherwise, I think it was fairly easy. And also, there was I think the track came apart from the jump a bit from the inside or something, so you had to get a bit different line. But otherwise, I think that jump wasn't that hard. It's just sometimes you get a like nose high and your car will have a weird landing, but otherwise it was.
How about this sweeper? It looked. Sorry, Max. Let me just ask real quick. How about this sweeper right here? Because it looked like in the first couple of days, obviously this is a glue track, by the way. So the first day or two, it's uber high traction. I know you guys were gluing sidewalls and all that type of stuff, but you have to kind of tiptoe your way around this sweeper because it looks like you can go around there full chat. But realistically, because of the traction, it looked like you just kind of had a tiptoe. It did come in once that line came up. Maybe tell us a little bit about this sweeper.
At least me, I didn't have to be that careful, but yeah, I can imagine some guys had to be careful on that corner. But yeah, you definitely cannot go full throttle there.
All right, Max, you had a question?
Yeah, about the back double, because I saw a lot of people, because it's a little bit tilted, the landing. I saw a lot of people sort of jump straight up, and then the car was a little bit crooked compared to the landing because it's tilted. Was that just like the wind that caught the cars that really like lifted the dump up, or was it?
I think it was the wind or the bump on the like.
Okay, yeah, because I saw.
Something.
Was it now Ronafalk or someone? They was like in Q4. I thought he would crash there every lap when he was running over that because he lifted up, but he didn't. He TQ'd that round. Yeah. I already went through the track. before on the
Right.
preview
For those who
podcast.
didn't listen, for those that didn't listen to that though, I noticed throughout the weekend that the infield broke up a lot more than usual from the times that I've been there. Like I've been there once when it was dry.
Yeah.
And that allowed a lot more dust to get on the
Yeah.
track. And I think that's because they didn't probably get as much glued on as they wanted. And I think that's what made a big difference in the track. Well, from what I can see,
And
because usually that
also,
infield stays together, right?
yeah, and also the track was also falling apart more than it was before. Basically, the back double was like rough. I think all qualifiers, but for the finals they got it together, so they had enough glue there to hold it together. But for basically all qualifiers and practice, there was a lot of dust there because the cars were creating holes to the landing.
Also, I would also like to ask, how long did it take for that black? Because I know the preferred line is when it gets a really dark black line.
Yeah.
And that's when it's at its best, I believe. It's greasy, like it has a little bit of give. Were you guys gluing sidewalls and all that stuff and track got like that as
I
well?
was doing sidewalls all the time. But
Okay.
when the track got like this black line, we started to use clay tires. But I think Ronafalk was still on softs in the final. Most of the hot race guys were on softs.
Did you run
Interesting.
hot race all the way through?
I did 6 mig in the semi and the final. I tried in the semi practice and felt like the 6 mig had more grip.
Okay.
So I
And
prefer
purple
those.
compound, right?
Yeah, purple.
Yeah. Yeah. And same in the last chance?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because yeah, that's interesting. Because usually Ronald Fox, well, he's usually on the soft, but I wonder what Robert was on. Because in the semis,
Soft.
like something just clicked for him. Yeah, it's weird because something just like really clicked for him. So I thought they would have gone clay, but yeah, it's interesting.
I have a question for an idiot like me. If the traction being as high, well, obviously, if the black line, it isn't that high a traction as it when it's fresh glued. Doesn't like logic tell you want to use a harder tire, or why are they using the softs? Like, I'm just explain it to me, so people out there would understand. Because remember, in America, they don't have track surfaces like this.
Yeah. So basically, the thing is that on this track, you start with medium, then go when the black lines is coming up, you go softer tire because the tire is not wearing down that much, and also the black line has less grip, so you need more grip from the tire. So that's why you're going softer. And then when there is enough oil on the track, because basically the black line comes from the oil that comes out from the muffler. So that when that's like the black line is enough, then you can start to use clay tire. And I would say it wasn't ever like enough for a hot race clay tire yet.
And also, tire wear looked pretty good here. You saw tires coming off; they still had tread left on them compared to the nationals.
Yeah, because like I said, the tire wear is going like way down when the black line comes up. And also, it was 45-minute main.
Yeah, so 15 minutes less.
Nationals. Yeah, 15
minutes
is
less.
quite a lot.
All right. I know a lot of people aren't hip to the okay, well, here's a good thing, Pekko. You raced on an oil track over there in Philippines, and you raced on this glue track. What do you prefer? Maybe tell us some of the differences between the two.
Oil track, I prefer.
Okay, well, tell us why.
It stays the same during the race weekend or week, and also it's just more forgiving. The glue track has a bit weird grip at the start of the event, and then it's also like evolves every round, so it will be different and different. So I really like the clay tracks more because it doesn't have that much traction. It still feels like a driving 8-scale car.
You mean the oil tracks?
Yeah, oil tracks.
So the oil tracks are the same from the start to the finish. Do they get affected by the heat at all? Cool heat and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, of course it does, but that's like you need to tune your shocks and this for the heat, but not track. Like the track isn't
Awesome.
changing.
Awesome. Because I know I was talking to a track owner. He has a big track in the USA and he wants to go all oil. He wants to try it. So it seems to be catching on. It seems to last a little bit longer than the glue. I know you have to reapply the glue. Were they fixing the track at
Yeah,
night?
they
Were
were
they
fixing
re-gluing
the
it?
track like
Okay.
even between the runs, I think. Yeah, they were putting glue and sugar on the track and everything.
Sugar too?
Yeah.
I think they just probably ran out of time with the track build because
Yeah, could be.
usually they put copious amounts of
Yeah.
glue on there. I
And
know
the
they use a
thing
lot of glue.
and the thing with oil is that the oil goes deeper into the soil and
Mm.
it creates thicker layer and it's more softer. So when the car digs a hole into the track, there is still oil in that hole, so it won't tear apart. This glue, when someone does a nosedive, it will be like a sand coming out from there. So
Yeah.
that's not good.
I remember that happened also at Ongara Ring. You know that back, was it double now, which you land and then there was that pole in the corner. Um, people, I don't know if they landed outside of it or if the landing just broke so much, but it was basically like, in indoors they have that like tile section. This is what Will calls a slippy. Okay,
Yeah,
so this corner was one of those. So basically, it was just like power sliding it through there.
yeah,
Um,
it was.
and then the rest of the track was like high group. So
And
like that is that doesn't happen on an oil track, never at
yeah,
all.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. And the funny thing actually that those Euros, they changed that for qualifying or something. They put so much glue and sugar on it that then it was the highest grip part of the track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was so funny because that was like the funny thing was that we were struggling a bit in this corner. So then they just like put all the sugar and glue to this one part, and then it was no problem for us anymore. It was super high grip there.
Yeah.
Well, I also saw some video where Nick was doing a track walk and they were picking up pieces of the track where you could see the glue kind of was coming off the surface. I personally feel with the track change, they just didn't get enough glued on because when I did talk to the figurators, they always say we put a light coat on so it permeates the ground and then we start putting layers and layers. And I think they just ran out of time to do that in time, but it made for interesting surface. It made it for different surface. And it's good because I really like that you was at the oil track and you got to go her, and also you got to go to Nats. You didn't. You drove on the Nats,
Yeah.
so we're gonna compare. I think we're gonna compare that because we have a question about that later on. So I kind of want to wait till we do that, and we'll compare that. Okay, we'll compare. Let's compare it. What about the Nats grip to this track, and then we'll talk about the Nats and Euros track being easy or not easy later on.
Way less grip.
Mm. Even when it was
Yeah.
freshly glued.
No, the national track that has less grip.
Oh, the national track had less grip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Way
okay.
less. I would say that would be comparing this to nationals would be medium grip, maybe even medium low. This is like the highest high grip, and then oil track would be like medium high
Got you.
to
Got you.
medium, somewhere there.
Great comparisons. Great comparisons. All right. Well, you know what? Let's get on to some qualifying recaps, and that is brought to you by our new sponsor, Dollar Hobbies. We want to thank all you guys that went over there and used that coupon code. Keep on using it. Dollar Hobbies, big thanks to them coming on board for the NNRC for the rest of the year. If you don't know who Dollar Hobbies is yet, go check them out at www.dollarhobbies.com with a Z. They have over 13,000 RC products in stock with over 130 plus top brands. Whether you're a racer, basher, crawler, or just getting into the hobby, they have you covered. You can use promo code Lefty to save 10%. They also have a brick and mortar shop right there in Minnesota with an indoor carpet track that switches between on and off-road on race nights. They have rentals, birthday parties, corporate events. the works, and they have a skilled staff to get you what you needed, get repairs and all that stuff. So if you guys can, you will save 10% by using promo code Lefty in all caps. It definitely helps us out. Remember, www.dollarhobbies.com. Also, a big shout out. I asked this guy for this commercial from the Euros, and he never got it to me. So maybe I have to talk to Pekko, but invisible speed.